Okay, this is a video showing you how to install the 3D mover brackets onto an NEC projector. Now, obviously this is not an NEC mount. I don't have one convenient to me, so I couldn't give you the proper one, but this is roughly the same. We've got the same gap, so for installation purposes, it'll give you the right idea. First off, I want to show you the T-nuts. These little guys here have a raised section, as you can see, and when we put them into these channels, they wedge up into the edge of the channel. So once it's tightened, if you want to loosen it again, you have to actually push it to get it to break loose. Otherwise they don't move around, which is a good feature. Most of our bolts are going to be the short ones with just a flat washer. We don't really need lock washers on most of this stuff. And there's only two different styles here. There's long ones and short ones. So, okay, first of all, we got to remove the 3D box, which I've already done, obviously. Then we got to take apart the whole core deck. So the way you do that is you take out the spring clips from this one, and this one. If you've done these before, just grab them with your fingers and gently pry them with a screwdriver. If you're not gentle, they go flying and then you're in trouble. So put that aside someplace safe. Slide this front rod out. I've already taken the top two out for speed, so there's that piece away. This is where we've got to work. So we're going to do the front end. The back end's going to stay as it is. You can check the screws are tight while you're here, but take these two out, and now we're ready to install a motion plate. So the motion plate is here, goes underneath here. We've made it compact for shipping, so we'll loosen these two screws, extend this to its limit, and snug them back down. Okay, so before we go any further, we're going to mount our actuator bracket onto this. So move this here so you can see better. So, short screw, flat washer, 90-degree elbow, and it goes on top. Don't tighten it. Again, short screw, 90-degree elbow. Get the T-nut in the rail. The little T-nuts don't sit flush sometimes, so you got to try to find them before you can tighten them down. Okay, now we're going to do short screw with a flat washer, and then just a nut, no washer on the back side. And snug that down. Again, don't tighten everything up yet. No, I didn't. Sorry. I'll show you in a second. Okay. Screw the flat washer, and one more lock nut. I'll just slide this to the end of its travel and just leave it because we're gonna have to tighten that up later. So there we go. So that's the motion plate ready to install. Lift that up. Line it up. Okay, now we also have this shim plate, which we have to install as well. So you're gonna have to line it up with the one beneath, line up the holes. Put it in. Okay, I'm using a screwdriver to locate the holes. Now this time we use long screws with a flat washer. There's only 4 of them, and it's for these 4 screws, these 4 holes. And long screw, short or flat washer. Don't forget you're screwing into plastic, don't over torque them. Okay, and then the back ones. And the last long screw. Now what I'll do is I'll slide it to the end so that the blocks are up against this plastic piece, and that helps you to align it better. Make sure that it slides nicely. that's the motion plate in. I'm not going to put the deck back on. That's a waste of our time. You can do that on your own time. It's easy. Drop it back on, put the clips in. Okay, so now we have to mount the rail. So first we're going to put our 90s onto the rail so we can mount it. So a 90 with a flat washer and a short screw. Short screw, flat washer again. On there, we're going to use short screw, no washer on these. And then underneath we got a flat washer and a lock nut. So now we need to mount the bracket for the actuator on this end. Flat washer, short screw, and drop it on the floor. These things here, this has to face towards the motion direction because they mount like this. If you turn it the other way and you try to mount it, it's not going in. Okay, mount the actuator with these Carlos clevis pins. Makes it easier for the operators. If there's ever a problem, they can just pull the pin, move the actuator, and then the 3D box slides like normal. Okay, this is the other end. I'm just going to tighten this up a little bit so it doesn't slide while we're testing. Okay, so that's the basics, the hardware. What we'll do is we can actually mount this box on the front end with a couple of short screws, and there's some T-nuts down here, so you can mount it wherever the most convenient place is, if this is okay, if there's enough room between you and the port glass. Otherwise, you can just mount this little guy somewhere else. To actually make it operate, you've got a DB15 cable that comes from your projector to the 3D box. So what you want to do is you're going to unplug that from the 3D box and you're going to plug it into our new control box, and then you're going to use one of the cables that we send you to go from the other port on this box up to the 3D box, and this will intercept the signal and it'll make the thing go back and forth in 2D and 3D. Yeah, your alignment, you want to make sure, if you can, get this stuff so that everything, the actuator is parallel and this is parallel, obviously. Just makes it for smoother motion, and that's it.